Hi friends, welcome back to my channel The Cloud Advisory. Today is Thursday. Again I'm here with the new video. And today again I'm going to talk about ECS. And this is a little advanced than the last video because today we are going to do all lab with Cloudformation Template. You know what? When we are working for customer and if you have to do real-time implementation, then no one creating AWS resources from AWS dashboard because everyone wants to automate it because you need to recreate the service maybe in the different account or maybe for the different environment, right? So that's why today we are going to create and mimic same lab what we have done in the last video with CloudFormation template. Same time, this will be little advanced because a couple of things. First things, what we are going to do, we are going to make sure our ECS cluster is high available. Okay. Second things, we also going to use SSL certificate that will terminate at load balancer. Okay. And third things, what we are going to do, we are going to create, we are going to access this ECS cluster with a domain name. Okay, so I'm going to create subdomain of the domain name. Okay, so this is kind of a real-time implementation. It's kind of real-time use case. So if you are working for the customer, then you will be doing all those things. Okay, so this is real-time implementation. In that sense, I'm saying this is advanced topic. Okay, so what we are going to do in this lab, so here is the summary. First of all, we will create a cluster. Then we are going to create task definition for the container. Then we are going to create a service, ECS service. And this all we talked in the last video. So if haven't watched my last video, then please go ahead and watch these videos. That will be helpful for you. I'm also going to put a link of that video in the description, so you can easily go and watch. We are also going to create load balancer and we associate with the listener and the target group. We will also create unnecessary IAM roles. We also enable logging and that will include a log group, creation of the log group. We also create a security group, one for the load balancer and one for the container. Then a DNS record inside Route 53 and auto scaling policy for your ECS service. Okay, so in all these we are going to create with CloudFormation template. So let me take you to the template what I have. So this is the template we are going to deploy here. Okay, and this start with and every CloudFormation templates start with the parameters. Okay, so that not need to explain here. So here we have the VPC, then subnet 1, subnet 2. Okay, then I have certificates. So this is certificate, so we are going to use this certificate to associate with the load balancer. Then for image, for ECS container, we are going to use nginx and the latest version. And the service name, I'm going to create a my service, we can call it nginx and whatever we want. Container port 80, so nginx going to run on the port 80. And in the load balancer we will access at 443, so it will be HTTPS. Okay, health check, it will be check at the root. Okay, hosted zone, so I'm going to use hosted zone the cloudadvisory.com, and where we will be going to use subdomain my service. We can also call it nginx and xyz, whatever you want. Okay, for the container, number of container we want to run 2, so this is a 2 task. Okay, maximum container could be 10. Okay, and auto scaling policies value is 50. So at 50% CPU, if it goes beyond, so we'll have the new task. Okay, so auto scaling will work like this. Then coming to resources, we have a cluster. So we are creating cluster. To create cluster, okay, we have the type is AWS ECS cluster. Okay, in property we have the cluster name. Okay, Then we are creating task definition, and these are the different values and properties of the task definition. Okay, so type is AWS ECS task definition. Okay, and if you want to know more, want to learn what is purpose of these different values, then you can copy from here and you go to the your browser, type here, and the first link which will open. Okay, and if you scroll here, you see it's described here. Okay, so I'm using YML, so this is, that's why in that format. And here you see when we are creating a task definition, so what properties needed, so all these are here. So if you click any of them, then it will take you on the detailed description. So this is good place to come and spend some time. You can learn and you can navigate to the different part of this part and different properties of this task definition. Okay, let's go here. And yeah, so here it depends on the log group, because task definition we need a log, we want to enable logging, so we are also creating log group. Here we have the family. Then network mode, we are using AWS VPC, because we are going to use, okay, so this will be powered by Fargate. Okay, so Fargate only supports AWS VPC network mode. Then CPU, we are going to use a 0.25 vCPU, so this is 256. Memory 5.5 GB. Okay, and we also need execution role, so we are creating execution role here, and this is a reference. So if you find, okay, so here we are creating execution role. Okay, and execution role is basically needed by Fargate. Okay, so when task will execute, so your uh, task need to call AWS service APIs. Okay, so we are giving some permission here. Okay, so we have the execution role ARN, then task ARN. Okay, then container definition, and here we have the name for the container, then the image, so image we are taking as a parameter. Then port mapping, so container port is 80, we are also passing in the parameter. And here we are creating log group for ECS. Okay, then here we are creating a execution role, we are creating the task role, nothing fancy here. Then we are creating auto scaling role, so that will attach with auto scaling policy. And we have a security group, so we have container security group, where we are opening port, container port from the load balancer security group. Then we have load balancer security group, that's open from internet at load balancer port 443. Then we are creating service, so for service type is AWS ECS service. Okay, this depends on the listener. Okay, and here we have different properties. Okay, so service name, then cluster, then task definition. Okay, then deployment configuration, desired count, so we want 2 tasks to be running, health check period in second, so this is 30 second. Launch type is Fargate. Okay, as we are using Fargate, so this is Fargate. If not, then it would be EC2. Okay, but in our case it is Fargate, so let it be Fargate. And as we are using AWS VPC mode, then we need to define network configuration. If you use a bridge mode, then we not need to configure, we not need to use network configuration. Okay, here auto assign public IP, here we really do not need. If you don't want, if you are creating this in a public subnet, then you can use, you want to enable, you can enable. If you are using a private subnet, then you can disable it. Okay, and here subnets, so we need 2 subnet for the high availability. Then security group, so for service we need container security group. Okay, then we have load balancer details here. Then here we have the target group, so there's nothing fancy, we know all these. One things we need to know here, target type we are using IP. Okay, and here we have the listener that's listening on the HTTPS, and we are attaching certificate, the certificate ARN what I have given on in the parameter. Then we have load balancer, and load balancer is again high available, and we have the load balancer security group, and we are creating a DNS record. Okay, so we are creating a DNS record with subdomain that was the my service dot the cloudadvisory.com. Okay, then love group, then we have auto scaling target and auto scaling policy. Nothing need to explain here, and that's pretty much. So this is all CloudFormation template to create all these services. Okay, now let's go to AWS dashboard and let's deploy this CloudFormation template. So let me close this, and here to deploy you're going to use AWS dashboard, uh, CloudFormation dashboard, and here template is ready, and we need to upload it. So choose the file Fargate, and okay, so let me bring it here, then next, then we need a task name, so let's give it Fargate ECS. Okay, and all parameter what we have defined in CloudFormation template had the default value, so we don't need to do any changes here, but here we need two things. Okay, first we need to select subnet. So what I'm going to do, actually I have ideally we will be selecting here private subnet for our ECS cluster, because we are using load balancer. Okay, but in my case I don't have the private subnet here, so I'm going to use a public subnet, but this will work for you if you have the private subnet. Okay, so this demo I don't want to run NAT gateway, so this is additional cost for me, so just I'm avoiding it. But same template you can use, and for your ECS container you can use private subnet. Okay, and here I'm going to select this PPC, and that's it. Next, and here we can specify some tag value. I don't want to add any tag value here. Then let's go to the next, and here we need to acknowledge it will create some IAM resources, so we need to add this capability and create. So basically this is going to take couple of minutes, and let's go to the event. Okay, so as we know it's going to create a load balancer for us, so let's open ECS. It's also going to create DNS for us, so let's open route 53 to verify it. Of course we need ECS dashboard to verify the service and all. Okay, and I think that's it. So here let's refresh this. Yeah, so here we see a stack got created. So if we come to the resource, and here we verify all resource has been created. Okay, now first of all let's go to the route 53. Okay, and I refresh, and here we see this subdomain is created, my service. Okay, so first of all let's try to access this. Okay, yes, oh sorry, let's remove this, and here we see we are able to access ECS container with our uh, DNS name. Okay, my service the cloudadvisory.com, so it's working fine. Now let's verify the service. So first let's go to the load balancer. Let's go to the load balancer, and here we see, we have the load balancer, and load balancer has the listener is listening on the port 443, and here we have the target group. So let's go to the target group, and in target group we will verify the health check. So these are the details. So now target group is forwarding a request on port 80 and http. And if we come to the target, we see here we have two container. One is running at this IP, another is running at this IP, and port 80, and both are healthy. Both are healthy, right? So here we verified. Now let's go to the ECS, and let's go to the cluster. Now we see we have one service, two tasks, okay, and as this is part of Fargate, so we only see this section is populated here. Let's click here, and before that let's go to the task definition, and we have the my service task definition, and let's click it, and we can verify all these details here. Okay, important things we can see here: container is running, which should be running on the port 8080. So host port is 80, container port is 80. Okay, let's go to the cluster, and here we can see we have the service my service, and here we can check the target group. So this is my service target group, that what we have seen here, okay. And we see the VPC, these are the subnets where it's running, and this is the security group, container security group, okay. And task, here we should see two tasks is running. Event, we talked about the event last time. Auto scaling, so last time there was no auto scaling, but here now we see auto scaling for the task, okay. And of course deployment, and yeah, rest of things are here. Again, if you go to the cluster, we can go to the task, and here we see two tasks is running. If you want to look into in details, we see these are the task details, and here we see the all networking details, okay. So it has this ENI and this AWS VPC, and this task is running over here, okay. And we see all these details. So friends, I think that's pretty much, and I hope you enjoyed this video, okay. And if you have any comment, then please let me know in the comment section. And if you don't know, I'm creating videos on AWS every Thursday, so please do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so you can get notified whenever I publish new video. That's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching. See you on next Thursday. Bye bye.